Is anybody there? I think we're. Are we back?
No, no.
Hello.
We had we had some issues. Nick's computer got really, really tired.
All
He just
right.
didn't.
Hey, we're
I
streaming.
want to take a nap.
Whew, all right. Well, that was something. Hey, back to what I was talking about or about to introduce before my computer. You should restart your computer every once in a while. Let this just be a little moment. Let me just every once in a while your computer should be restarted. Preferably, you should do it before you started a start stream. Okay? So streamers out there, I'm probably the only one. Just letting you know, do that first. Yeah, it'd been a long
Be
time since I
kind of.
restarted my computer.
It's like the old VHS rental stores. Be kind and rewind. Be
Yeah,
kind and restart.
that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was. So, anyways, we're back, and better than ever. I don't know. Don't ask me. But we're back, and we were talking about, or about to talk about, or was going to talk about that the fact that Xbox is raising Game Pass to raising Game Pass $1. I don't know how much are they raising Game Pass, Sean. What does it bring us to?
Well, your PC Game Pass or your entry level Game Pass subscription is $7.99. At the moment, it's going to go to $8.99. And then for Ultimate, which is access to the cloud gaming service, gets you got gold uh, games, all your games with gold, your ability to do multiplayer, etc., bits and pieces like that, which is currently $11.99. It's going to jump to $12.99. I think you were in the middle of looking to see if that was in like 10th of September, but it's safe to say it's probably sometime around mid-September that happens. So
Yes, I believe that's true. That it is in September, but I am still looking that up. I'm trying to get all the Google Doc back up and everything like that because it all kind of went away. So, I mean, I don't really care. Like, I don't necessarily. I'm not like what they raised it $1, even though I made it act like that when we were in the intro. It doesn't necessarily bother me. I do think it would have made a lot of sense for them to be like, hey, it's raised $1, but like give us something like the family plan. Now's the perfect time to give us the family plan and be like, yes, it's $1 more, but look what's available to you now. And then nobody would even be like talking about the dollar. Like that wouldn't even nobody would care. So I don't know. I don't know where that is. There are some things that seem easy to do that Microsoft just seems to be lacking at the moment. Personal opinion.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, $1's not a lot for us anyway. So like the general, like everybody that's a consumer of Game Pass in that sense, it's not going to hurt. $1 extra a month is not going to absolutely break the bank. But if you think about in terms of how much that's making Xbox every month, that's a killing amount. Like
Yeah.
up to going on old numbers, up to $30 million extra a month. So
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sorry. It is so it's August 15th for the whole world except for Germany. In Germany, it's September 15th. I knew that. I knew I had
oh,
something. So there you go. Um, yeah, also, do you think they're doing this? Do you think? I look at this date, August 15th. Okay, we all know that likely there will be a large Game Pass influx ec- real soon, right? I mean, like everybody's thinking,
I
hey, jumping on the
didn't
Starfield
did
bandwagon.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's like the perfect time to raise Game Pass if you're going to raise Game Pass. Raise it and then make people pay an extra dollar a month to play your game, basically. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they were doing. Now, I will say this is not like something that they just thought about doing. This they Phil had said late last year that prices were going up on these services. So we knew that was in the works. We knew it was coming. But I also
Yeah,
don't know
but
why they couldn't marry it with
but
some good news.
in the grand scheme of prices going up, you want to look at things like I don't know if if you're in the UK, and the base rate for the in the UK for interest is like currently going to be about 6%, which is a huge amount. So obviously it means inflation's really high. So
Mm-hmm.
the price of everything's going up. I mean, fuel over here has just jumped up again by 5 pence a litre. So
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff's going up. In the grand scheme of it, £1 or like £1 a month over here is not a lot for something to go up. Netflix have just stuck a bit of a rise, and instead of paying, I think I was paying £11 a month, I'm now paying £16 a month. It's like that's a big jump. So this in the grand scheme of things, so what you get a month as well, and what we're going to be getting in the future from the service, is not a lot. So,
Yeah. So what's the amount, Sean? Like if they like, what's the amount where you would be like? I mean, you run a Game Pass channel, a podcast, so there's that. But the amount where you would be like, take the fact that you're a Game Pass podcaster out of it. That you would be like, no, I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna be out.
you see, I don't know because it's really difficult because the gamer in me is like, if these games come out and I'm not going to be on Game Pass, I'm going to spend £50. Like if a game was to come out every month for the entire year, I'd easily spend 600 £600 a month, £600 a year, sorry, on buying these games, just rating them at £50 a game. So if you can say I'm going to get access to most of those games that I'm going to want to play.
Neo Prime, thank you so much for subscribing, man. Appreciate you so much.
Yep. So if where have I gone? My train of thought's just gone completely with that. Thank you, Tim.
You just basically like yelled at our subscriber. Thanks a lot. And he's gonna like, now there's
no,
gonna be a button that unsubscribes. He's gonna be like, no, I'm done now. Sean yelled at me.
no, that was a thank you for subscribing, but like also I completely throw me off track. So if say like obviously there was those 12 games, a game a month for the next 12 months. If most of those are coming to Game Pass, I'm legit going to be super happy. And if they raise the price to £20 a month for Game Pass, but I'm going to be able to play all those games without having to buy them at like the upper rate of £50 to £70 a go, £20 I'd probably pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on the content and how much is coming in, like what other games are coming out on
Mm-hmm.
other platforms like Nintendo.
So I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I would be like many of our of the people who are in our chat, like I think Hambone Johnny jumps in and out. I don't know if John still jumps in. He might be completely out now, but every once in a while.
He tried a couple of weeks ago, but that's when the chat was to subscribers only for some strange reason. So I'm hoping that works again.
No, 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 no. I mean for Game Pass. I would
Oh, okay.
I would play the in and out game. I would totally, like, right now, I would cancel my subscription. The moment Tears of the Kingdom came out, if I wasn't running this podcast, I would cancel my subscription. Just being honest, it just is what it is. And I would just be fine with Tears of the Kingdom for pretty much the summer. I'm gonna have Tears of the Kingdom. I'm gonna be playing game. I'm playing Pikmin 3 right now with my kiddo, preparing for Pikmin 4 coming out, and then in right around this time, I'd jump back in. I mean, and that's the game I would play, and then I'd be in till either, I wouldn't only be in for the big games, but like when something on Nintendo dropped, like Tears of the Kingdom, sure, I'm gonna jump out. I'm playing that by myself. I'm not playing that with Noah. That's taking up all my gaming time. There's no reason for me to really be on Game Pass if I'm not running this podcast. Um, I don't know if that's sacrilege being on a Game Pass podcast, but it just is what it is. I mean, use your money the best you can.
This is the issue you have when you're a multi-platform player, which will bring me to the next. It's actually going to round quite well into our feature short story after we finish with the news bulletins. But that brings me right round into that. It's how you do it. You legitimately have to look at how much money you spend a month on what you enjoy doing. And
Mm-hmm.
we both of us enjoy gaming, and I've been the same. I could quite easily have, like you said, dropped off and not paid the monthly subscription for Game Pass because I haven't played anything since Tears of the Kingdom came out. I just have.
Yeah.
Because anytime I get to play a game, I'll do any form of gaming. I've been playing Zelda, so just
Mm-hmm.
that is purely for the basis of I knew I needed to get it finished before Starfield comes out, and I absolutely fell in love with the game. And it just every time I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fire up a console and play something. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Zelda.
And so the other thing I'll say to kind of combat that is that would have been a great time for Xbox to be like, hey, we're raising the price to $16.99 for Game Pass Ultimate, but if you subscribe for a year, we'll keep it at $15. So basically, subscribe for a year, get a year-long membership, and you'll only pay $180 if I did my math right. And so yeah, like I don't know, there's a million things they could have married with this, and I think that would be great. I think there are people that would be like, oh yeah, I'll save that amount of money, sure, let's do that. But they didn't marry any of that. They just like, we're raising rates, see you later, have a nice day. It was very un-Xbox. So I don't know.
Yeah, Tim's basically echoing everything that we just said in the chat. I've had to stop Game Pass because I don't have time for that. PlayStation Plus and Nintendo games. 15-year-old me dreamed of having all the gaming stuff one day. That day came, and I don't have the time to play it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's 100% true. It's just yeah.
Childhood dreams ruined by adulthood life.
Amen. That is exactly true. So,
but
yeah.
But no, I played in the thing I love about it being a monthly subscription is that you don't see it. Like I did that 11.99 I pay at the moment. Just I don't see it as a break the bank outgo. It's like there's people out there that spend way more than that on stuff that can kill them every month. People who smoke. It's just don't come at me and have a go at this, but it costs a lot of money to set fire to something that you then inhale into your lungs. Well, like for me, I pay $11.99 to have access to a huge gaming library, which often surprises me with what games are there. So,
yeah. So there's I mean, and this is kind of a squirrel of where we're at, but it's kind of there. So there's two aspects to valuation, right? There's the first aspect of like, are the games on Game Pass good, and is it worth it? Yeah, that's accurate. They are good games, and I mean, for the most part, and they are generally worth it. And you'll get your money's worth if you play them. But are you going to get your money's worth from that valuation by actually playing those games? Well, I chose to be a multi-console owner, like what Tim is talking about, I chose to have these two consoles, and no, there are times I'm just not going to get my valuation. It's not that it's not there to be had, it's just that I'm not going to be there to get it. And so then you have to make that choice, And over here, like, I don't know, we're all suffering. I don't know about other places or about where you're at, but we're suffering, having to pay extra money for Netflix now because they're cracked down on password sharing, and it's just like, all this stuff. And so that's a big deal in my world right now.
My mum was moaning to me about that the other day. She was like, why did you log me out of your Netflix? I was like, I haven't logged you out of my Netflix. Netflix have logged you out of my Netflix.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, subscriptions are going up all across the board. And if they're not going up, stuff like this is happening that makes them go up. And so, yeah, I don't know. $1 is not a big deal, but I think they could have come out with a way that we wouldn't be talking about this $1. We would be talking about something else that they said, about the year subscription, about the family plan, about something. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's like, look at this new shiny thing over here, and at the same time, look, we'll just eke that up a little bit. But then at the same time, we'd probably have said, well, don't just look at this that they're doing, because they're also doing this on the other side of it. So,
of course I would. I would gripe about that too. But I'm gonna say I wouldn't until it comes, and then I will.
Because you can.
Oh man, that's right. Because I can. That's what I do here. That's my job, is to gripe. All right. That was
our top stories.
Thank you, Sean. I was broke for a second. Yeah,
that was a lot of top stories.
That was. I was broke for a second, and you fixed me. News bulletin: Polish developer 11-Bit Studios signs deal with Xbox Game Pass. What are we going to be getting with this, Sean? Do you know? I don't what are the
I
games in here?
I don't quite know. I'm 11-bit studios. I can't remember what games they did, so I'm just gonna pop them out of here, and I'm gonna stick this over there, and I'm gonna see what they do.
I don't know what you're doing, but it doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound like it
The
should be on air. Pop this and stick that. I don't know what's going on.
So this War of Mine, Frostpunk, the Alters, Frostpunk 2. So they've had some okay games.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna get. I'm you said that this War of Mine was already on.
Well, I said
Um,
I thought I heard or I thought I remember. Still yet to be confirmed. This
but
war
yeah,
hit
I could
Xbox
see
when it launches. Yeah,
I could see
yeah.
us getting Frostpunk because that was a 2018 game, and that was an Xbox One game as well. But I can also Frostpunk 2, which is announced in 2024. We could maybe get that as a day one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, this was a Game Pass game. We got the final cut. This is the game that came out like right when the Ukraine thing hit, and we were a little like, I don't think I could play that. You play as like a group of survivors in a war, and you have to try to like scavenge and find stuff while not being killed by the invaders. And it was like a couple months after the Ukraine thing, and it was like, I don't know, it just feels a little like not like something
off
I want to
topic.
do right now. Yeah, like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Um, yeah, so that one has already been on Game Pass, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they throw on there. Um, but there you go. Sorry, it was news bulletin. I took too long on it.
No, that's okay.
Feature story. Microsoft CEO isn't a fan of console exclusives, and he doesn't like them so much he decided to blame Sony for it.
Shock,
Such a
horror. So this has this. I mean, I'm going to read the quote
okay.
that
Read the
I
quote.
like to read. So, if it was up to me, I would love to get rid of the entire exclusive on consoles, but that's not for me to define, especially as a low share player in the console market. The dominant player there, who is Sony, has defined market competition using exclusives. So that's the world we live in, and I have no love for that world. I completely agree with him on this, and I thought I'd bring this up as a feature story this week because do you believe that the console exclusive thing should be a thing now? Like, do you believe? I mean, I live in this harmonious world in my head when it comes to gaming, where I would happily have one machine that ran Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox games, or games that you can only get on those consoles now, but all in one place.
I
There
mean,
isn't a PC that costs a lot of money to update every 60 seconds.
this is really hard for me to like separate from the real world of life. Would that be like my ideal thing? Sure. Like, yeah. I mean, let's all play on an Xbox because it's the best system, and and then I'll play all the games that I want to play there that have the best software. So I'll play my Mario's there. Can't wait to play Mario Wonder on my Xbox Series S, and it's fantastic. It'll be great. Also, the other side of that coin is though, would Nintendo games be as amazing on third-party hardware?
I reckon you could get most Nintendo game if you tried to run Tears of the Kingdom on an Xbox Series X. It looked nice. I mean, that game for me, even on the OLED Switch, I had issues with that game when it came to fighting Gloom hands with all the avatars bouncing around that you end up unlocking while it was raining during a thunderstorm. It lagged like so bad. It was jittery. It was all over the place. It was the first time I'd had an issue with it. And I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
this is. But like, would I have got that on a Series X console that had a bit more computing power? Probably not.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But there's like, I don't know, there's just features of Nintendo. It just feels like Nintendo is a home on Nintendo console. Now maybe they could pull it off. I've never seen it. We've never seen it done, so we don't know. Um, but in my head that sounds great. Like we have all the consoles, all the best games on one console. Yeah, that would be great. I don't. But does exclusivity, like, so you have a list of questions here. Um, does it damage the industry? No, I don't
Yeah.
think it does.
Well, would removing it damage the industry, or do you think people would just be quite happily and harmonious in the fact that they can play?
That's a good question. So I think it would damage Nintendo the most.
Yeah,
Like, if you just said,
definitely.
"Hey, listen, exclusivity is not a thing anymore. You cannot do it. If you make a game, it has to go on every console. That's just law." Um, I think it would damage Microsoft the least, because I just don't think I think they have the least amount of exclusives that people are like jonesing to play, and I think it would damage then PlayStation, because they have kind of made their way with The Last of Us and stuff like that, and then Nintendo. Um, but also, would it damage the? I don't know. I don't know, because everybody's making 30%. As you said, that's the going rate, as I understand it, for getting money off a third party console. So, like, I don't know. They're making money, right? Like, isn't that good? Um,
Yeah,
but it certainly
I
would
mean,
damage Nintendo the most.
there's lots of people. I mean, like Gaming Dad's UK Facebook group or page is a privately run page. It's an awesome thing to be part of. I'm often in there chatting to people about podcasts that we're doing, about what games are coming to Game Pass and what's worth playing. So when
Mm-hmm.
people ask, I kind of try and represent us on there a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's the constant running conversation between people is like, I don't know what console to buy next. Do I get an Xbox because the like you said, the system is better than the PlayStation, but the games aren't always as big and as exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
because usually when you get a big exclusive game, it's a huge, it's optimized for that system, and it tends to be a franchise that we enjoy. So Spider-Man and the upcoming Wolverine game for Sony, we won't get those on Xbox, but at the same time, we're getting things like Starfield, and we've had Halo, Forza, all those kind of stuff. So it's uh, I don't know. I asked the question of, is it damaging to the industry, because I thought, are people, the constant swapping and changing, does it keep the price of consoles higher because you know people are swapping it? I don't know where I was going with that question. It was kind of like in my head at the time when I was writing this out in the doc. But
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
the
interesting. I don't think it damages industry doing it, but would it damage industry not to do it? Well, you have to change the pricing model, right? The pricing structure couldn't be, hey, we get 30, you get 70. Because, I mean, look at it right now. Nintendo releases Zelda, and it's only on Nintendo, and then they make what? They sell 30 million. They make 100% of 30 million copies. But if you sell Zelda all over, and let's say you sell 50 million copies, you had 20 million for the extra two consoles. But now maybe you only sell 20 million on your console, and now you're only getting a piece of 30 million. So it's like,
yeah.
well, that doesn't really work as well. You're going to have to change that pricing model a little bit to make that work more. Now, with Xbox, we don't effing care. Xbox doesn't even care. They're going to release Starfield, and they're going to give it away for $15, 16, I don't know. You don't have to have $16. It's like $10.99 now. It will be, or something like that. I can't remember. We did a story on it. Go back and listen. They're going
We
to,
did two stories because we had broken half at one point.
that's true. So they don't care. Like, this literally does not affect them. They're like, sure, whatever. We're trying to give our cloud service to like the world right now on like 15 different platforms. Whoever
And
wants
none of
it,
you
take
want
it.
it.
I know. Whoever wants this damn thing, just take it and give us a little bit of money. So they don't care. But it does hurt Sony
Yeah.
and Nintendo.
Yeah, and then the other the other side of it is do gamers use the console war as their pronouns? So like, oh yeah, I'm a Nintendo gamer. Well, I'm only PC only, and then we've got me, you, and Tim, and a couple of other dads in the Discord. That's like, well, I'm a multi-platform player, so I'll play Nintendo, I'll play Xbox, I'll play PlayStation, I'll play my games wherever I can play them, or depending on what game I'm wanting to play. So it's like, if you if you could remove if you put all the games in one place to play, then do you remove a little bit of identification for people as well? Like
Yeah.
we would no longer be able to run as an Xbox Game Pass podcast, and the
You know,
Nintendo dads would lose their title as the Nintendo dads.
yeah, that's true. It's funny you use the word pronouns. Like you could use a lot. You can relate this to a lot of different things. You can relate it to like religions, right? Of like, are you agnostic? Or like you can relate it to that. You can relate it to pronouns. We say multiplat. Maybe we say biplat. I'm biplat. Like like you could I mean there's a lot of things you could do, a lot of ways you can relate this. And it is interesting. I think for those who are on Twitter, like just being ridiculous and saying ridiculous things, yeah, it is their identity, and that's a problem. Like that's just the problem. They don't view themselves as gamers. They view themselves as Sony people or Xbox people, or Nintendo people, and it's like if you don't absolutely love my thing, then I feel hurt, and so now I'm gonna have to be mean. Yeah, let's just all be gamers. Like, and I think that identity is a problem. I I don't know if it's going away anymore. It's hard to tell because Twitter is such a shit show. I don't know if I'm just like in the middle of it, and so there's just a few people that I sometimes hear, and I'm like, oh my gosh, or if it still really is a problem. I can't tell. So to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I I don't. The thing is, I don't see myself. I've used every single platform there is to play video games. I've owned a Sega. I've owned a PlayStation. I've owned an Xbox. I've got a VR headset. I have at one point been a PC player, PC game player, and like, and I own one, two, three. I've got more Nintendos in this house than I care to count, not including the ones that are boxed up, kind of like out the way from prying eyes of Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't say I hate the constant. Well, I play PlayStation because it's the better console, and the Xbox is absolutely crap. And blah, blah, blah. I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the PlayStation has, and I'll say this for exclusive games, they have games I really want to play and I really like enjoy. And no, I would enjoy a lot. Spider Man, I absolutely love that. I would buy a PlayStation just to play those games if I could afford it. If I had the money to burn, that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I absolutely adore the Switch because I just wasted 175 hours of my life playing in Zelda, and I know as soon as Pikmin 4 comes out, I'll end up wasting time of my life on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say wasted, I mean enjoyably wasted,
That's right.
passing
That's right.
the time. Um, and for the meantime, when like I'm playing, Need for Speed Unbound on the Xbox, it's like I don't have like the one thing that I relate as being my own. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd be quite happy to have the like if all the developers and the hardware like creators and stuff like that all got their heads together. I'm pretty sure you could have like the compatibility for Amiibo and all the gyroscopics, and be able to pick up and play on the go of the Nintendo Switch with the graphical amazingness that you can get on a PlayStation and an Xbox all rolled into one package if they worked really hard. It
Mm-hmm.
probably look really ugly and have lots of moving parts, but
Yeah, and Tim makes a good point here. He says he's moving towards PC gaming, or PC gaming has swayed him that way because you can get a lot of Xbox and PlayStation games there now, and that actually is a really good point. The adage used to be like, well, why do you buy a PC? Because for $500 you can just you can have the games you want on one dedicated system. Well, actually now you can kind of raise that amount, right? I mean, like it's like $1,200 really, because it's like, well, if I get a PC, I can spend $1,200 on a PC and play all the games that you would have to play by buying two consoles now. And so, yeah, he's actually not wrong. Not a bad decision. I try to keep games off of my rig just because one, it's not super strong, and two, I assume it would like just make it harder to do what we do. Um, and so
and the only thing that sways me away from PCs is obviously the upfront price of doing that, but then it's the constant need to upgrade
Hmm.
things as games get better. It's like I don't mind. I don't know. I'd have to look back and see how much I've spent on consoles, how much it would be to keep a PC maintained to the point where it can run the utmost games. But
Yeah.
I just like the fact that I can turn on the console. Its whole dedication, its dedicated life is to be a console to allow me to play games, where a PC can sometimes do as the PC that you are using this evening is like, look, you haven't done this for a while, you haven't done that for a while, you just can't use me. Sorry, go away.
Yeah. Yeah. There's certainly that. Um, I will say so. The one thing about console exclusivity, uh, that I think we don't think about quite often is the fact that it does make for a competition that pushes games forward.
Yeah,
If everybody was just kind of like, you can throw your game in any system and then they just get paid, and it's like, well, I don't know. I guess you would still be competing about the quality of games, um, and I don't. Maybe it actually is more competition, actually, because now your game sits. Now that I think about it, maybe it is more competition because now your game sits with that other game on any platform. So like Nintendo couldn't just release like a crappy Pokemon on their system and be like, you gotta play it here. No, they'd have to release it on every system, and then it sits right next to another game, and you have to. It makes you have a more choices, which makes you want to create a better game so that people choose your game, even though they have more games to choose. If that makes any sense. So I don't know.
yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense. It's like if you're going to make a first-person shooter, it needs to be better than the last first-person shooter, or people aren't going to play it. It's like, well, why am I going to go over there and buy this game when the one I'm playing now is really good and looks better than that one? No, go back and do it again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Tim always
yeah,
coming up with
yeah,
great ideas. Did you see this? How about one system, but each company makes their own peripherals, and those peripherals could unlock things in that company's game. So, like you could use maybe your Nintendo Joy Cons on some Frankenstein system for all three consoles. I think, yeah, or use your PSVR headset on your Frankenstein console. Yeah, no, I could see it.
yeah. And then yeah. But then like the hardware, then it becomes that you just end up with different bits of hardware for one system. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Or if you're
It's never.
Nintendo, you could bring your cardboard. You could bring your cardboard house to the to the console and do whatever you do. I'm looking at it right now. It's up there. Or your cardboard piano, which I also have on my shelf over there. I have a cardboard
So
flight
yeah, I
stick.
mean,
Why the hell did I buy a
it's never gonna.
Thrustmaster? I have a cardboard flight stick. God, I didn't even
That'd
know.
have been
Didn't
so
even
funny if
think
that
about that.
worked.
That'd be pretty
Flight
awesome.
simulator.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's never gonna happen. We're always gonna have the exclusivity war. Um, I mean, the I can't remember his name, but he is absolutely correct in the fact that Sony has defined this.
Is it Nadella?
Yeah, it's Nadella. So, and he's absolutely bang on with it. Sony have created this world where exclusivity is king, and
Sony did not create
with
this. Listen, I know we like to shit on
yeah,
Sony. Sony did not create exclusivity. Like it was created. Actually, Nintendo probably created exclusivity. If you want to be real about it. I mean, they would have been the first ones, right? Seal of approval and all that jazz. I mean,
yeah, but that's not that for me. That's not creating like you had. If you go back to for me to where gaming first started, you could either be a Sega player or a Nintendo player. That was it. There was no like in the middle ground where now the like you can be a PC, Nintendo, VR only, handheld only. There's just that many different ways you can go, and there's games that are locked only to those systems. Like if you wanted to play Mario, you bought a Nintendo. If you wanted to play Sonic, you bought a Sega. That was the only two options you had for me as a kid.
yeah,
Um, it's like now if I want to play Gran Turismo, I have to buy a PlayStation, but I can then also buy an Xbox to kind of play Forza, which is like Gran Turismo. There's too much, so yeah, I think that's I don't know. I don't know if that's what it means by they've kind of capitalized on exclusivity, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he just wants to kind of try to put Sony in a corner. But no, Sony didn't create exclusivity. Really, really Nintendo created exclusivity, I think, and maybe a better historian can tell me there was somebody even before Sony. So that might very well be true. But in my limited knowledge of video games, I would say it's Nintendo that actually created that. But it might be somebody else, and I just don't know who that is. You'd need Jesse on here who knows all those consoles before Nintendo, and he's always talking about them all. I have no idea. I don't play any others. I just Nintendo was my first baby, so I don't know, and I didn't pay enough attention. So yes, all those things that Tim just mentioned, the Atari and the in television and the
He's only repeating what Justin says. Don't trust him.
not Justin. Justin has no idea. Jesse. It's what Jesse
Jesse,
says.
sorry.
Yeah. Justin's like, listen, the first game ever out was Fortnite and what's the other one he plays? Apex. Those are the only two. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you shit, Justin. All right, let's move on to the Game Pass headline.
I like that. A little bit of damage limitation by moving and changing
That's
the
right.
subject.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. I think we've made fun of our parents long enough. Let's move on to something that's less out since the last episode. Well, you start with Need for Speed. I don't know. You out in June 22nd.
So yeah, Need for Speed Unbound. In the last episode when we talked about this coming out, I kind of like said, it's going to be one of those, usual Need for Speed style race simulator kind of games. It's a bit arcadey with some pretty weird like graphics. I love the graphics. I didn't realize this game was running on the Frostbite engine, which, if anybody's played Tom Clancy's The Division or The Division 2, they ran it on that engine. So the weather and the lighting in this game is fantastic. Add on top of it the weird comic book style hand drawings over the top that are shell shaded. It's great. Looks great. It's fun to play. It's took me a little bit to get used to the cornering and drifting technique, but now I've got that down. It's fun to play. You can make it as challenging as you want, so you can go like there's 3 different game modes. There's relaxed, challenging, and intense. I've stuck it on intense, so like it's quite easy to crash. Like when you crash the car to be wiped out of the race, you only get 2 restarts per event. Per meetup. And then each meetup can have like 3 or 4 events in, so you've got to be really careful with what you're doing. There's no like you don't have to come first in every race, but the higher you come in that race, the more money you make. The more money you make, the better you make your car, and so on and so forth. The storyline is really good. Like you start out and you're working for a garage, and you team up with this woman called Yaz, and she kind of introduces you to the racing world a little bit. But then you soon get done over by her, and she steals the car and wants like to try and damage the garage's reputation and stuff like that. Then you have to go back to like basically being a taxi service, a speedy taxi service for a part of the story, and then you get reintroduced into the racing world again, and your job is to kind of try and bring that racing world back up. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. Seems a bigger game than I expected it to be. So
cool. Next, this is a day 1 release, June 22nd as well. The Bookwalker, we talked about this last week, a narrative adventure where you're a writer turned thief with the ability to dive into books and use powers to journey between reality and book worlds. So, it's out.
Yep. I'm just looking at the other game, Car Mechanic Simulator, which is strangely enough the other game that I downloaded the other day. Bramble the Mountain King. That came out June 27th. And just load that up very quickly so it's preloaded. This is The Mountain King, is a grim adventure set in a world inspired by dark Nordic fables. Explore the beautiful yet dangerous and twisted land of Bramble in your endeavor to rescue your sister.
All right.
So,
June 27th, Fist, Forged in the Shadow Torch. June 27th. The Tough Rabbit is making his way to Xbox Game Pass. Enjoy a seamless adventure, a combat experience that has been well received by players, and dive into this diesel punk world of Fist.
So just to can't believe that they nicknamed the game Fist.
That is pretty hilarious.
Story of the Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town.
Oh,
Tim, by the way, says Fist is an awesome game. So
there you go. Stay fluffy, my friend, and stay furious. That's actually its tagline. So,
thinking, where the hell did you pull that from? So out just today is Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. Your farming life begins in Mineral Town, a charming village surrounded by nature. You've returned after many years to restore your late grandfather's farm to its former glory. Care for crops, livestock, and more as your very own Story of Seasons unfold.
It's good. Probably my second favorite one. I think Pioneers of Olive Town's my favorite, which is the most recent one. So, but if you're looking for a Harvest Moon like, this is actually the creators of Harvest Moon. There's a big rights blah blah blah, and so the creators of Harvest Moon lost the rights, had to go make a new thing. They call it Story of Seasons. This is it. So those, if you love Harvest Moon, there you go. So do that. It was a good get by Game Pass for all of us farming lovers. Arcade Paradise coming out next week. Welcome to Arcade Paradise, a 90s fueled retro arcade adventure. Rather than washing rags for a living, you decide to turn the family laundromat into the ultimate arcade, play profit, and purchase new arcade machines with over 35 to choose from. And actually, I have not played this, but I will say it was a big hit on not NBC, GameScoop, the IGN podcast. They like loved this. There was a couple people playing it for a few weeks. They were like they kept giving updates on what they were doing and how they were doing.
That sounds quite interesting. So, excuse me. Especially for IGN to rave on about a single game that isn't a huge exclusive for one platform or another for that long.
Yeah, for sure.
And Sword and Fairy 7. Why have I put 7? Anyway, Sword and Fairy together forever. Ignore the 7. Enter a realm that blends ancient mythology with the traditional Asian aesthetics in Sword and Fairy together forever, weaving its tale between 3 clans of human, deity, and demon. It puts you in command of a memorable party of characters, each with its unique personality, move skills, and strengths.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Moves, skills, and thank you very much for that. It's getting late, and I'm quite tired already. I'm assuming this is some kind of RPG turn-based style game. It didn't actually give us that in the blurb, so
I'm sure it is. I'm just looking at the art, but I'm pretty sure it is.
So, and that comes out on July 5th.
All right, leaving June 30th. I'm just gonna run through this real quick. DJ Max Respect 5, Empire of Sin, Matchpoint, Olesia, Omori, and Road 96. So Road 96 probably the only one that sticks out to me, but there you go. So you have until tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, sorry it's too late to buy it or play it. If you can do that in a day, if you buy it, you get your 20% on your Game Pass 20% discount.
A little update with Games with Gold. As I was originally writing the doc out, there wasn't an update for these, and you were going to get rumors, stuff that was absolutely incorrect. But since then, we've had things open up. Darkwood is the first one, which is coming out July 1st, running right through till July 31st. Roam by day, survive the night. Darkwood is a different type of survival horror game that builds tension through the slow burn atmosphere without relying on jump scares. While the sun is out, explore and open the world of the corrupt woods to scavenge weapons and materials. Once the sun dips, you'll need to hole up, surrounded by whatever traps and barriers you can build and pray you can hide from or fight the creatures that emerge in the dark. Good luck making it through the night with your body and mind intact. I just quickly watching the trailer for this game, and it looks creepy, but very interesting. at the same time, it was scoring like 9s out of 10s and stuff with gaming companies at the time. So,
Nice.
and then the other game, when the past was around, is coming out July 16th, running right through to August 15th. Discover the touching and bittersweet love story of Ada and Owl. Unlock the puzzles in a beautifully rendered point-and-click adventure with hand-drawn art and magical scar that will stick with you for days. This is a calming, meditative game that reflects on love and loss in a surreal world made up of disjointed rooms from memory and time. So
There you go.
yeah,
I am totally with Antonio here, who says, glad we got another survival horror game. It's been 12 seconds. I was starting to worry. I feel the same way about survival horror games. I'm right there with them.
yeah, I can agree as well. There's not a right lot of variance in terms of survival horrors. Yeah, but
uh, all right, so let's move on to the dashboard. Okay, I can tell you I have been playing 2 games, and one of them is an Xbox game. Mighty Doom. I've been playing Mighty Doom. Didn't see that.
I thought you were hiding something, you sneaky dog.
Oh man, this game is perfect for my June month. Like, it's just dumb, and it's brainless, and there are times, Sean, there are times this month where I have just like sat down, and even the idea of like turning on a console and having to focus enough to like play something like Zelda is just like, that's just too much effort. And so I'm just like, yep, but I can do this. I can run my little guy that auto shoots around and have mindless fun until I fall asleep. Like literally, that has been my. There have been days where that's what I've done because I've just been like, I just don't have it in me to like focus and think enough to play Zelda. So I beat World 9. I got one world left, Sean, and I beat it all. I maxed out all my abilities. I'm at level 70. Like, numerous weapons are like ridiculously high. I have not. Well, no, it's not true. I have spent money on the extra season pass, but I have not. I've not spent any money. Holy crap, Antonio is just like going crazy. Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Tears of the Kingdom, the trifecta. There you go, man. So, but I've not put any more money on it. And then I've played Zelda. Not near like you've played Zelda, but I've been chugging away, trying to just beat it by September 1st. That's my goal.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's doable. It's doable. It just you do have to pour a lot of time and effort into those.
I have to kick it up a notch. I get you.
Yeah, there's I have actually played 3 games if we want to count mobile games.
Well, I do because
playing?
otherwise I haven't played shit. So
I've been my daily go to now is a game called Coffee Golf. It's basically it's a very small, like 5 holes round of golf that you can play in less than like 2 or 3 minutes, or as long as it takes for you to drink a cup of coffee. So it's kind of like and you only get one shot at it a day. So they changed the layout every day, and you get one go at it to do your best score, and then that's it. You can't you can restart again, but you have to pay to play for the restart. So, which is quite interesting.
like, you got to pay real money, like real money to play.
Yeah, okay. I think it's like a $1.99 or something like that to do it.
You're a mobile game dabbler, aren't you? I noticed that like a lot of times I'm like, I'm still on Mighty Doom, and you're like, well, I'm trying a new one, Nick. I can appreciate that about you. I like it. You're like onto something.
Yeah, what is it? Marvel Snap. I was heavy into that for a while, and then I got to a point where they were making too many changes. They were doing too many different things, and it kind of turned me away from the game. So, but I don't. The battery life I have on my phone at the moment, because I haven't updated it for 4 years, can't handle me doing a lot of mobile gaming. It barely handles like the flicking through YouTube and looking at different videos and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you were doing the text one like I don't know, a few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that.
Yeah, Lifeline Plus.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I got as far as I could with that. I did the extra story. I did everything. I went back through and looped through again, and kind of like, yeah.
I get you.
So,
I like it.
Need for Speed Unbound. I've already talked about that before, but I'm very much enjoying that game. It's currently sat up in front of me, telling me that I've lost connection with my controller, even though my controller's turned on. And then Tears of the Kingdom, I have finished it. 175 hours, all the light routes, all the shrines. So the only thing I didn't do is I didn't go and get. I haven't done all the springs quests, so like the springs of courage, the spring of wisdom, and stuff like that. I haven't gone under those.
Sure. I don't even know what those are.
Read.
Sound great. Never even done them. Don't know they exist.
It's only the same as what was in Breath of the Wild.
No, I get you. I just haven't. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, man. No, that's awesome, buddy. You tore into that thing, and that's awesome. You did good. I'm gonna try real hard, as I said before.
The upsetting part is that I wanted to go and get all the Korok seeds, but there's 999 of them.
Yeah. So there's the same amount as Breath of the Wild, right? That's the Breath of the Wild amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the Breath of the Wild amount. I know how.
Oh, you did? Wow, really? You got them all?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
This seems
that
like
game was out for 5 years. If it's going to be the same for Tears of the Kingdom in terms of length of time before the next big new Zelda game, not a remaster or a remake, I'll probably, depending on how much I play Starfield or Pikmin 4 or Forza,
or the next thing, or the next thing, or the next thing.
The next thing. Yeah, I might go back into it. So,
well, see, that's why you just wasted your experience, Sean. You need to be like Tim and I. You know, we just kind of pace ourselves till the next one. You know, just kind of like come in for a slow, gradual landing. It's like 5.5 years later. Then we post. We're like, we beat Zelda, and people are like, okay.
The new one just came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will say I am glad that I beat Breath of the Wild. I'm glad I went on that tear to like get to the end of that before, so I didn't have to worry about that before Tears of the Kingdom came out.
So, but no, it's I put out a tweet for it. It is quite honestly it is my favorite Zelda out of the franchise. There was just the ability to do as many things as you would like to do in many different ways. It's hilarious. Helping the sign guy, I haven't seen anybody looking at videos and stuff that do those sign guys in the same way.
Yeah.
It's like there's just so many different tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of crazy stuff you can build using the Ultra Hand, and like even like rocking up with auto build and doing stuff like that. At one point, well, like one of my favorites, and all my favorites are stuff for getting around in the depths. So like I knew when you rock up to one of the little hexagons in the depths, got stuff you can build with. You can kind of guess what's gonna be there by the first few things that you spot. So I just cycled through my favorites till I found something and was like, yep, that fits everything that we've got here. Away I go. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm still running.
I'm still running everywhere, so I'll figure it out sooner or later. So.
Oh, I still run everywhere. It just in the depths, it was getting a lot easier to kind of fly, especially when I was looking for like the last few shrines, light routes. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I think we do have a couple of questions, right?
We definitely do. The question side of our Discord is packed at the moment. So.
All right. Well, let's go to party chat.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh yeah!
What do we got?
What have we got? So there's just questions everywhere. Jiggly Collector, which is a really cool name. I like the fact that he's got a jigsaw pieces next to his name. Brings me right back to Brandon. Yeah. He has 2 questions for us. Let's say Xbox One launch was exactly the same as we remember, but they started the console generation with Game Pass. Could or would Xbox be in the driver's seat instead of playing catch up?
Hey, Abyssal, I'll see you later, man. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I heard your question. I just saw Abyssal say something. So if they had Game Pass at the beginning of let's say
which I think they did. I think
That's what I was trying to figure
Right.
out. Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
But it wasn't the main driver. Game Pass wasn't as strong at the beginning of the Xbox One's life as it is now. So, like, if the Xbox One launch was as great and as fantastic as it was supposed to be, tie that with having a fantastic library of games in Game Pass, would we be seeing Xbox be more dominant than it already is?
Well, actually, I'm trying to. This is a question we should know the answer to. I'm not gonna lie.
I said TK is Jiggly Collector.
So Game Pass launched in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, Game Pass launched in 2017.
I swear it was older than that, but hey.
And Xbox One was released on November 22nd, 2013. Yeah. So yeah, it did not launch together.
Oh. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's saying. If we saw them launching together with the library of games that we have now, we'd probably be seeing that Microsoft were doing a hell of a lot better than they are at not paying for the sins of the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have an Xbox One. I had an Xbox 360, and people talk about the sins of the Xbox One. I wonder what what are the sins of the Xbox One, Sean? Fill me in.
It just didn't
Shitty
work
games,
very well.
is that what it is?
A combination of really rubbish games. The online side of things wasn't great. There didn't seem to be a lot that you could play at the time. The backwards compatibility didn't work great at first. So yeah, there was a lot.
See, because for me, Xbox One paid for the sins of Xbox 360. I mean, I know you are like I never had a red light of death. I apparently have the like angel hands. But me, I was like, I touched my 360 and it like melted, and then it just like. So yeah, I went through 3 of them. And so I was just like done. I was like, I'm not doing Xbox One because I don't want to go through this cycle. I mean, granted, Xbox was really nice to me. They gave me like I think 4 of them for free, but they just kept dying. So yeah, that's the interesting part for me is that Xbox One paid for 360 sins. So,
Yeah.
but if they had Game Pass at the beginning of Xbox One, and it was like day and date first party games, which granted there were certainly less of in 2013. Yeah, I think they probably would be in a better spot for sure.
And then the second part of the question is, what is your top 3 games for one of the best Xbox consoles, the Xbox 360?
Ooh, my top 3 games for the Xbox 360.
Viva Pinata,
Ooh, yeah, that is a good one.
without a shadow of a doubt. He mentioned Red Faction Guerrilla. I can completely agree with that. That was a fantastic game for its era.
Mm-hmm.
And the original Call of Duty multiplayer game, the one that like they currently remade.
Okay. For me, it would be not the last Halo game. The last Halo game I played before I exited, Halo 3. And then Red Dead Redemption, I believe, was on the 360.
Yep.
I think it was. And then now I think you can play it on the Switch, but at the time I really loved LA Noire. It was like this detective game. I really love those. Those are probably my like when I think of my time with the 360. Those are like the top 3 games that I remember spending a bunch of time on and playing.
Yeah, and I can agree with all those as well. The LA Noire was a really good game. It was like a very safe Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the old. Was it like 50s style? I believe detective-y type stuff.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Dick Tracy style.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, 100%.
So Frosticles, the honorary UK agent that always chimes in. will we ever see a Banjo free?
I don't know. Yes, yes. I think we will. I think we will. To be honest, when will it come? Though I have no idea. I think you're. I think you and whoever else was in chat that one time are right though. They're going to make a remake first. And so actually I think that will happen. They're going to make a remake that's all, fancy and stuff. And then depending on what happens there, and this is Sean's idea. I'm stealing it. I'm not stealing it, but I'm just kind of reiterating it. So I give credit where credit's due. And then we'll see if we get then we'll see if we get 3.
Yep.
And if you freaking people don't buy it or play it or whatever because it'll be on Game Pass, then I'm coming to your house. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get there, but I'm coming there. I'm gonna eat all your food.
Eat all your food while you watch them play the new Banjo and Kazooie remake.
That's right. I'm gonna download Banjo Kazooie at your house. I'm gonna make you play it, and while you play it, I'm gonna eat all your food. And then I'm gonna start a chubby bracket of my own.
Fast News is like biggest winner.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Gain the most weight, win the most money.
Yes, this is the reverse. I love it. This is fantastic.
Ebicel has asked if Xbox One launched with online 24/7. Is that supposed to be without online 24/7 required? Would it have flopped worse or better if the series required online 24/7? How would it fare?
Sean, you're gonna have to help me out here. I'm confused. Ebicel, you are in the chat. What is going on?
I'm assuming he's meaning because I think the Xbox One requires you to have 24/7 online for like updates, game updates, this, that, and the other. Where I believe the Series S and X, you don't need them to be online as much. You can kind of pop them on and off, and things do work. Apart from a few games where you require, I think, Need for Speed Most Wanted is one of them where you have to be constantly online, which is why it was an Xbox One issue.
I don't know. I don't have an answer to this question. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to bow out on this one. I feel lame, but I don't. I'll take the heat.
I think if the Xbox One came out and didn't need that constant handshake all the time, it would probably have done better. But it seemed at the time the right direction for games to be going in because most people were playing online multiplayer games. They were wanting to pop in and out of other games with people like Left 4 Dead and things like that were pretty big on the 360. They were eyeing up more games like that.
Well, and didn't this have to do with digital rights management? As I recall, like they had a plan of being able to like move digital content, but to do that, everything has to be online 24/7. This had something to do with DRM. I know that, but I don't know enough to like. I don't know enough of the story to know the whole story. The story of my life. So yeah, I think it has something to do with digital rights content, and then they ended up canning the idea altogether.
Hammer and Johnny asked a question. He says he's curious to hear our opinion on the planets question above, which I'm now going to have to go find.
Oh. Yeah, I remember this one.
So it says, do you feel relieved that only 100 planets will have life of them, or left questioning what we'll be doing with the other 900? And this is to do with the 1,000 different planets that are going to be in Starfield.
Yeah, I am glad there's only 100 planets with. I mean, I don't know. Am I? Yeah, I guess. I don't really care. There's 100 planets with life on them. That's great. I do wonder, like, well, then why do we have 900 without? Did they scope this too big? Like, like, could we have just had 100 planets with life and 400 planets without?
Is that 100 planets that can actually sustain life without them being pirates that are there, like, doing exploration and also build little bases and things like that? Or we've crashed over them. There's going to be lots of, like, oh, there's a wreckage on this planet that is currently being harbored by space pirates, and you need to go in and clear it because we need this item that's on this ship that crashed.
So so what he says is like, hey, only 10% will have life, human life. The rest will be used to like harvest. You can go there and they might have something valuable to harvest or something like that. But they won't have life on them, which makes me think that they won't have story missions involved on them. But still, 100 planets is a lot of planets. Like,
There's
like
a lot of rock.
yeah. I don't need any more than 100 planets. But I guess my main thing is I don't need 900 planets without life either. That seems like way too many planets. Like why? Like why? And my question was, or what I responded to Hambone about this is like, well, if they would have lowered the amount to like 500 planets, would that have made this game come out sooner? Like or on time might be the right way to say it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't. Maybe when I play the game, I'll be like, oh, I see why there's 1,000 planets. But I highly doubt it. But maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But they were really big on that in the beginning, right? They were like, there's 1,000 planets. I feel like they had this number in mind in the beginning of like, we need this to be this big.
Yeah, but they were all like, there's
that's what they
1,000
wanted to do.
planets and there's 1,000 hours of dialogue all at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you know, but yet then they did. I don't know. I would need to look. I don't want to say that. I don't need to look. Yeah, I don't know. I would rather have half the planets and still have 100 of them with life on them. That's what I'd rather have. That makes more sense to me.
Agreed. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing why only 10% are habitable. Hammonds is a two-part question because he stuck another one in there. So, what's the better crossover, Barbie in Forza Horizon or Mercedes in Mario Kart? And are there any other weird crossovers you'd like to see in other Xbox titles?
I think Barbie in Forza is pretty awesome actually. I think that's pretty great. So I'm down for that. I'm down for that crossover. Other weird crossovers.
I liked Mario Kart. I liked Mercedes in Mario Kart. I'd have been interested if they'd have stuck like a W11 looking, which is the Formula One car, kind of car in there, rather than just using the old school original Formula One or Formula racing style car, and then like the big AMG looking yellow thing. So, but for other weird crossovers, Paw Patrol in Forza Horizon, I think would have been hilarious.
You really just had that. That was pretty impressive. That'd be fantastic. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I'm totally down.
Halo in Forza Horizon, like, racing warthogs and stuff like that. Bring Halo to Flight Simulator so you can fly around the.
That exists. Halo is in Flight Simulator. Yeah, you can fly some Halo ship in Flight Simulator currently. I can't remember which one. It's only one of them, I believe. But I am surprised that they haven't brought the Warthog to Forza. That actually now that you say that, that's pretty surprising that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Let me think. One last one.
I think so. Like Ninja Lunchbox says, micro machines in Forza, like just Transformers. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's do something like that. I think that'd be awesome. Could run around. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll do. There we go. The Ambassador 83. What genre of game is sorely lacking on the Xbox? His thoughts are that 3D fighting games are currently lacking.
I think
for me, it's 3D platformers. For me.
Yes, you got it. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think 3D platformers are lacking. I think that's. I think that's exactly it for me.
I mean, we had Super Lucky Tales, which wasn't great as a game to play. But
I disagree. I like Super Lucky Tale. No, I like New Super Lucky Tale. Are those different? Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's the same game, but different adaptations, I believe. But you give me a Crash Bandicoot for Game Pass, that style of game, and I'd be so happy.
Man, Antonio is hot. Let me tell you. I don't know if you've been paying attention here. Like, how about a mash we've never seen before? Bethesda and quality. He had another one over here too of like, Skyrim is in space is a bad idea. There, I said it. He doesn't like it. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah,
So-
100 planets, but 100,000 bugs. I mean, man, Antonio is just like, whew, man, he is feeling it for Bethesda tonight, man. So there you have it, man. Yeah, no, I think a 3D platformer. And I've been saying that for a while. That's why we need a Banjo Kazooie. That's not a remake. That's a Banjo 3E. That's why we need make that happen.
Ebuso asked a question about something that affecting the, but I'm assuming that's to do with the Canadian.
What's going on over here? I don't know where you're seeing this.
That's the things that you got redacted with Sharpie, which then shone through. So.
Oh yeah, fantastic, best stuff in the world. Court system rocks. Some like 17-year-old was like, they like threw all that shit on his desk, and he's like, redact this, and he's like, oh, okay, I don't know. And he's just like sitting there redacting it and shoving it in the scanner. He's just like, I'm like, hey buddy, that doesn't work. I love it.
So Linge Lunchbox has got a question. So from all the court hearings from the Microsoft versus the FTC, we have learned that Microsoft is wanting to establish a better presence in the Asia Pacific market. There were talks to buy Sega in 2020, plus the whole ABK deal is about acquiring studios to establish their mobile presence. So question one is, will Microsoft still buy Sega and go after another well-established Japanese developer? I don't think they're going to buy Sega, but I think they're going to do some very strong partnerships. They were working on a project together. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I still think they're going to work very strongly with Sega, but I can't see them buying them. I think there must have been, to stop them to not be buying them in 2020. There must have been a reason behind it. So.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. They were using their cloud infrastructure or something like that to help them make a game that I believe they said was exclusive to Xbox. Yeah, I don't think they'll buy anything. I think, man, I mean, I'm going to be proved wrong immediately after this is done, so that's fine. But I'll just go with it.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to buy anything for a while. Like after this gets done, I think they're going to settle in. And by a while, I mean like a year or so. Like they're just gonna lay low. But watch, Phil will be like, we got our Activision deal, and also we bought Square Enix. Congratulations! They just threw that one in as a freebie because it cost us 69 point whatever million to make this happen. Yeah.
So Ninja Launchbox's second question is with the real money being in the mobile market, will we see PlayStation or Nintendo start to make a bigger move into the mobile market?
Not Nintendo. Nintendo was there and left.
Well, with Pokemon Go, Animal Crossing, and Pikmin Go.
Yeah, and then they had that Dragon one, and Nintendo is very cognizant of like, are we being fair with our gacha mechanic, right? There was that whole like story about the developers of that. Gosh, what was that Dragon whatever game that they came out with? It was some Nintendo mobile game, and they were like, no, you need to ratchet down the gacha mechanics here. And the developer was like, no, we want to ratchet them up so we can make more money. But no, I just don't see Nintendo. I see Nintendo coming out of that market, not going in.
Yeah, I think they like. I don't know. There's a guy at work that still plays Mario Kart Tour. So have they done enough in the mobile market to just kind of tie him over?
Yeah, so yeah, Mario Kart seems to be pretty big. I mean, Animal Crossing mobile seems pretty dead. Fire Emblem Heroes, that's still rolling, right?
I am not sure. You're asking the wrong guy. That's an RPG.
Yeah, I get you. I'm trying to remember what that one was that they announced that people were into that I was talking. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Yeah, I can't see Nintendo moving into it. PlayStation maybe, but it's how do you go from being a huge hardware developing company like Sony or Microsoft and then dumb your stuff down to squeeze it into a mobile?
Oh,
I mean, Mighty Doom was the closest thing you're going to get to a decent Xbox game on a mobile.
they had yeah, so Dr. Mario World, which they closed down. They have Pikmin Bloom. I kind of forgot about Pikmin Bloom, the basic walking sim. Um,
Yeah,
I don't really use that anymore. I used it for a hot second. I think I was thinking of Dragalia Lost. I think that's the game I was thinking of.
yeah, that name
So,
rings a bell.
yeah. Super Mario Run, which kind of started the whole thing off. Which, man, what a great uh, what am I trying to say? The way that they monetize that. That's a monetization model. To just be like, hey, $10, it's yours. But everybody hated it because nobody's used to paying $10 at that time for an app. So everybody was like, I ain't paying $10 for an app. That's perfect. Like, I mean, that's perfect for us, not for Nintendo. Like $10 for an app, you get it, it's yours. You get the whole thing unlocked. I don't know. Nobody liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Super Mario Run as well.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, my kids still enjoy Super Mario Run. Every once in a while, Noah will still play
yeah, I haven't shown it to Logan yet because I'll lose my phone.
it. That's a fair point. I don't blame you there. Yeah.
He's super into Mario. Like, yeah, crazy.
Is now I don't know,
Um,
Sean. Hold on, before you move on. Is there any PlayStation mobile games? Like I don't know. I don't keep up on PlayStation.
is Hitman classed as PlayStation? Tomb Raider?
I don't know. There is PlayStation mobile games. I think PlayStation mobile. Nope. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I didn't think there were.
No, I don't. I don't think they have any at the moment. Do you think they ever would?
No, I don't think they will for a while yet. Ebisoul also pointed out that there was Magic Hat Jump for a mobile game as well. Forgot about that game. The third part to Ninja Lunchbox's question is: will Sony kill the PSVR 2? And I'm assuming it's because that thing has flopped. It's dead in the water. So
I don't know. I can't answer that. I just told you why I can't. I don't keep up with PlayStation games or PlayStation. None of that.
for me, I can't see them developing any major games for it, other than the fact they want to try and maybe make people buy it still or keep it and not try and sell it. But yeah, I just console pitched with a VR headset just for me, unless it's completely wireless, does not work. For you to be wired takes away the immersion side of things because you're constantly worrying about it. When you've got MetaQuest 3 coming out and you've got the MetaQuest Pro and Hive and a couple of those other wireless ones that are fantastic, you are always going to lose in that market making something that's wired in.
So to kind of answer our question, because I was a little interested. Literally, this is an article from Wired, the website Wired, September 3, 2022, and that week, PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst announced in a post on the company's official blog that it would dedicate some business efforts after buying Savage Game Studios to a mobile gaming division. As of yet, this was back in September. As of yet, Savage Game Studios hasn't published any games. So it looks like they are jumping in, and they legit just started. Like you're talking that
fair
was
enough.
like 9 months ago.
Presto the Magnificent has a very interesting question. What could a Nintendo Game Pass look like?
Oh man, Sean, let's save this. Let's save this for a feature story, for like a couple weeks out. That's what I say. I mean, we're already an hour and 20 minutes. I think we were like 30-40 minutes on our on the first half of this episode. So I say we save this for a feature story. It's a really good question.
Yep. And I think that kind of that's the end of all the questions that came in. So we will, yeah, that's a good strong one to
Yeah.
use because we could say a lot about that.
Yeah. We love your question, Presto. We're not trying to ignore it, but it's more than we got time for right now, and we'll give it its due in an episode in probably 2 weeks because I won't be here next week. Don't you answer this question next week. Don't do it. Wait for me.
Well, it's just me next week, and then the week after that, I think there's just you.
No. It's the both of us. Then it's just me.
Oh yeah, because then the day after we
Yeah.
record, I then go on vacations.
Yeah, just like literally tomorrow I go on vacation, we record, and then you go on vacation.
It's the time of the year.
That's right.
But yeah.
All right,
Anyway, I shall wrap us up. I'll take us out because I'm up in 4 hours, which is nice. Thank you everybody for listening. If you want to get in touch with us via our usual social outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, you can do. Everything is at Game Pass News. Want to stick us an email, you can head over to your web browser. GamePassNewscast@gmail.com is our email address. If you're listening to this via podcasting net, please leave us a review, leave some stars. Get used to doing that because potentially the next event that we do for 3 months of Game Pass is going to revolve around this. So get used to doing it. If you want to join in the current one, though, subscribe to Twitch and get your 5 extra entries into the competition, as well as access to the Discord, or just follow us, which is great. Shop for some merchandise. You can head over to do redbubble.com and find us there. We are in the Nintendo Dodge store as well as our own Game Pass News. Thank you very much for everybody in the live chat. There was a lot of people in there today. We got Ebicel, Ninja Lunchbox, Antonio, ACTKO3, Tim. Thank you very much for subscribing again to ACTKO3 and Tim. And until next time, everybody, we shall see you later.
See you later.